welcome back. I'm Sheila of bountifulcook.com, and today I'll be sharing with you yet another Christmas recipe. Technically, this can be a roast dinner recipe as well, and this is the roast potatoes recipe. And it's so simple, don't need that many ingredients, and you'll be so impressed by how delicious they taste at the end. So stay tuned.
You will only need 5 ingredients for this recipe. But first, you want to start by peeling the potatoes. This is completely optional. You can actually have the potatoes with the skin on, which is perfectly fine, but we prefer to have them with the skin off. So this is entirely optional. Okay, so it's now time to cut the potatoes. I chose to cut these potatoes in halves because I wanted to have the larger roast potatoes. However, if you do want to cut down the time it takes to make this recipe, do cut them down into quarters or even smaller if you prefer that. Before making your roast potatoes, it's important to wash them as thoroughly as possible. And this actually helps when you're roasting because you remove that excess starch surrounding the potatoes and it allows them to be even more crispier. So make sure you are thorough with your washing. Once you've cleaned your potatoes and drained the excess water, you can go ahead and add some cold clean water into your pot. Once you've done this, go ahead and drizzle some sea salt into the potatoes, and this will allow for them to be flavored while they are boiling, so that when you get round to roasting them, they already have flavor locked in. Once your potatoes are done, you should be able to just poke them through with a sharp knife, and they do hold on to the knife ever so slightly, letting you know that they're cooked. You then want to go ahead and wash away that starchy water. This is before you can actually season them and put them on a baking tray. Now for the fun part, you want to go ahead and season your potatoes with sea salt. This will just lock in the flavors even more. And I love to use all-purpose seasoning. I think it's a very good all-round seasoning, especially for potatoes, and it allows for them to be extra crispy. And of course, adding the black pepper. This is also a favorite of mine when it comes to roast potatoes. Now to finish off the seasoning process, what I go ahead and do is to drizzle some duck fat onto the roast potatoes, and I find that this really brings out the flavor of the potatoes. The duck fat already is quite rich in flavor, so what this actually does is it allows for the potatoes, once we put them in the oven to roast, to get that beautiful golden brown that you want when you see your potatoes on the table. So go ahead and make sure that next time you cook duck, you keep some of that duck fat aside so you can use it on your roasted potatoes and vegetables. And just like that, we are done, and the potatoes are in the oven ready to roast for roughly around 30 minutes. Time's up, 30 minutes later, and this is what we have. Beautiful golden brown crispy roast potatoes, and you can see that they are sizzling, and that is the duck fat doing its job. Now just plate your potatoes on a serving dish. Once it's all plated, it's time to do the most important part of this, which is the taste test, and I can guarantee that this will be delicious if you cook it just how I've showed you. But of course, as always, I appreciate your audience, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and do tag me if you try any of my recipes. Enjoy!